please.
Gunther.
Here.
James.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Rhodes.
Here.
Simmon.
Here.
Everybody stand for the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mark, the agenda.
The agenda is in order, Mayor.
You left everything on, did you?
Yes.
Alrighty. The minutes? No minutes.
No. Next week you can have them.
No special orders. Study session, sanitation rate increase, Carla Staffen.
So before we talk about the increases for sanitation, I thought I would just give you a few reminders regarding sanitation. So sanitation includes trash, recycle, bulk, and yard waste. And you need to have it placed out at the road by 6 p.m. the night before. So it gets picked up on Monday, it needs to be out by 6 p.m. on Sunday. Your poly carts need to be placed to the road with the arrows facing out, and you have to have them apart. You don't put your sanitation and your recycle right next to each other. They need to be, I think it's 4 feet apart. Make sure that you put your recycles in your recycle cart. You don't have to sort them, you can put them all in there. Don't put trash in there because then it becomes contaminated, and if they realize that, they will not pick it up. And they'll try and put a note on the cart as to why they didn't pick it up. If your sanitation, regular trash or recycle does not get picked up, give the treasurer's office a call, and we have a living document with our waste hauler to give them the misses. And they will come back on Wednesday and get those misses. And bulk items, they usually don't have room for the bulk items, so they will come back on Wednesday to pick those up as well. So just a few reminders on that. Yard waste has started already. So with yard waste, it's also picked up on Monday. Needs to be placed in paper bags or sacks, or you can put it in cardboard boxes, or we have stickers available to you that say yard waste only, and you can designate a container of your choosing to put that on. And they'll dump that and then leave your container. So that's all I have for that. So moving on to the rate increases, we did sign a contract with Republic Services for July of 2023 through June of 2028. So what we're showing you tonight is the rate increase for 2025 to 2026. And that is a 4.5 increase. And that increase is effective July 1st of this year. And you won't see that increase until you get your bill in August, because we bill in arrears for the sanitation. The monthly residential trash service, you'll see an increase of $1.14. Your new rate is $27.55 compared to the old rate of $26.41. The additional trash cart rentals reflect an increase of 19 cents. So if one trash polycart is not enough for you, call and we'll get a second one delivered for you. And there is an additional fee for that. Monthly commercial rates will also be affected by the 4.5%. If you look at Schedule 1, you can see those increases as far as residential and commercial. And then there's also a separate dumpster rate. So the rate depends on what size dumpster you have and how many times a week it gets picked up. Same thing, if you have a commercial dumpster and it does not get dumped on your day that it should be dumped, give us a call and we'll also get you on that list. The only thing that we don't know is what day your dumpster gets dumped. Republic, you'd have to call Republic to find that, and also if you want to change that date or how many times you want that dumpster to be picked up, that will go through Republic as well. Are there any questions on the increase in rates?
What was their reason for raising rates?
This is just their, part of their contract, so inflation, part of that is, I'm sure, the gas that it costs them going back and forth.
But this is not in addition to what we agreed upon when we.
No, this is
what we
part of the
agreed
original
upon.
contract
You're
that
just
we agreed
reminding
upon.
everyone.
Yes, yes.
Yep.
The reason we do it like this is because it's very expensive. It's part of an ordinance and it's expensive to publish it all, the rates all at once. So if we do, each year at a time, it's cheaper for us.
Questions from either commissioners or public? Hearing none, thank you, Carla.
Sure.
Next, another study session item, strategic planning update by Michelle Stenger.
In your packet, you have a couple of pages on our strategic planning update. In March of this year, the city commission and department heads worked with the strategic plan, on the strategic plan with the consultant, and the results are before you. But before I started that, I wanted to review what we had done in 2024 with our strategic plan. Some of the work from 2024 has been and will continue to be ongoing, while some of it is less frequent updates. But overall, we have completed most of the items listed in our 2024 strategic plan, and we'll continue working on the ones that are ongoing. The 2025 strategic plan had 4 main categories for staff and the commission to work on: affordable and thriving community, investment in the east side, building community, and continuing to be a well-run city. Because many of these objectives are new, staff has just begun or hasn't begun jotting down ideas and making plans on how we move forward with the strategic plan. We plan on implementing it and have started discussion, and you'll see some of the items in the budget of things that we think could help with implementing the strategic plan. One of the things that has been a discussion is the timing of the strategic plan. So typically the city in the past has always done the strategic plan in the spring, which is after our CIP process, but before our budgeting process. And sometimes that causes us to have to pivot from what we recommended in the CIP in the budgeting process. So staff has been thinking that possibly running the strategic plan in the fall prior to the CIP would be more advantageous to creating a streamlined process for strategic plan, CIP, budget adoption, so it all moves more seamlessly. With that, that means we won't be doing a strategic plan in the spring of 2026, but we'll continue to give updates on the current strategic plan and then start a strategic planning process in the fall.
Thank you. Questions, commission?
That's kind of what we've been talking about all along. We'll obviously do check-ins. It's not like the last time we talked about the strategic plan.
Public? Questions? Hearing none, thank you.
Yep.
Michelle? Next is our public comment not related to items on the agenda tonight. Anyone? Please, Mrs. Frazier.
Okay, my name is Patty Frazier, and I live at 522 Bailey. And I attended the Parks and Recreation Board meeting on Thursday, and Heather reported that the wheelchair swing at Hemlock was unsafe and recommended that it was taken down. Well, by Friday, it was removed from the park. The chairman of the park board, Mr. Neal, did mention that it could take up to 5 years to install a replacement. And I thought his comment was very confusing, and I wanted to know why it would take so long, because the whole Hemlock revitalization project took less than 3 years. I do not want this project to be lost in some committee. And what is the normal procedure to get on this, the city commission agenda in a timely manner? As you know, Fred, this is very dear to our hearts, okay? Okay, when the park board does start the process for a new swing, I'm requesting that an occupational therapist to be on the advisory committee and one that has wheelchair credentials. An occupational therapist, there's a big difference, okay? If one is not available locally, then the Mary Free Bed could be a resource. Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you. I think it's fair to have Heather give you an update. I don't know where that 5-year thing came from. I mean, I never knew.
Well, he said it was only because of the grants and this and that, you gotta do this and that, so.
Heather, what's the latest? Be sure so we could get you on tape. I think we feel the same way you do all the way.
Yeah, so we did have the wheelchair swing removed on Friday, deemed that it was a hazard, and we have been actively pursuing different recreation companies to inquire as to what availability there are for a similar type product. I've since reached out to a company out of Europe, found that there is a wheelchair swing in Whitehall that's similar to what was installed. And the requirements are to have playground servicing go underneath the structure for the fall zone. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at this point, is looking for products that are safe and can do a full replacement of what was there.
ASAP, I think. Heather, is that correct?
That's the intent. However, I would anticipate that it wouldn't take 5 years, but it's going to require us to go through a CIP process, as I'm identifying that these are quite costly. Our CIPs are over $7,500, which I'm finding we're going to be into that, over 75. I don't know, but I wouldn't be shocked if it came with something like that.
The grant process can take a long time, and I think the swing needs to be there before a long grant process. That's my opinion. Others on the commission have a comment? It's a big issue in town. I've heard tons about it, so I think it's fair to address it if we'd like to. Anyone on the commission?
I just have a question. Did we know that it was deteriorating and we just didn't acknowledge it? Or, I mean, what happened over the years after it was installed?
Mr. Bowman, the fabricator, him and I had been in communication years prior, and unfortunately, he is no longer in the welding business, so we were unsuccessful in finding somebody that could help us get the actual swing repaired. And then as I started digging further into the safety standards, that's when I realized that we were dealing with something a little bit more bigger than just a repair.
So safety was also a big issue.
The main
Correct.
issue, I think,
Okay.
right, Heather?
Yes.
So, if memory serves, this was a donated
It was.
item, so it may not have been built with regards to what the industry standard might have been.
I think that's an accurate statement. It was not fully engineered, stamped, all of that stuff.
Right.
It was, just like you said,
So
strictly a
that
donation.
might be why there might be a difference in cost, plus that was 8 years ago. It was it was when I was on Parks and Rec, so I think it's always tough to have to decommission a piece of equipment, especially one. But it also, we need to make sure it's safe. So I second the mayor saying it's a priority, but I also know it's not going to take 5 years. So thank you.
I would also say priority. It's something I've discussed with Heather and other members of city staff. I think it's very important as we continue to redevelop our community and we keep recreation as one of our pillars in mind, that we make sure it's open and accessible to everybody. And I think that the city staff has that mission well in hand, and they considered it when redesigning what used to be the playscape in the first place. So I think you have a commission before you who and a city staff before you who's very dedicated to making sure that it's as accessible as it can be, as fast as it can be, as safe as it can be.
Anyone else? Yes, Bill, please. Mr. Rowley.
On this, or are you ready for me?
Anything else on this one? Anyone else on the swing? It was Heather called me down to see it, and I was saddened by the condition and what we need to have. And I think we'll all get there as quickly as possible. If they have one in stock, you know, and if we can get it done, we'll get it done. Sorry, Bill, please.
It's okay.
Bill Routley, 1491 Catherine Street. First of all, I'd like to say that Big Rapids is a good community. If we could just get some industry, we would be a great community. So do something about that. Just go pull them out of your hat, and we'll support it 100%. So I have 3 items. One, I noticed as you were preparing for this year's budget, I saw a line item happily in there for street lights going up Baldwin Street across the bridge. Is that correct? Correct. I thought that it was going to be this year, but is that targeted in this year or next year's budget, or?
Yeah, this budget has $100,000 allocated towards that project. I think it's about a $400,000, $400,000
For
project.
4 lights?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
I should, in the wrong
More than
business.
4 lights, but
Yeah, right.
it's
Okay. All right, thank you.
We're gonna try to cash flow that one and maybe look for grants as we go, but we're gonna try to put it in the savings account.
We got Met money, you could use that. Okay. Second item. Obviously, as I said, I live on Catherine Street. And from Spear Street to just before my house at 1491, that road is in terrible shape. There are more people and more cars that live in that 3-block section than any place else in the city. We have the apartments, we have the mobile home park, we have Platt Avenue, and we have homes all the way from across from the mobile home park all the way to Steve and Dawn Fuller's place. So, Jake is great about trying to keep the potholes filled, but it's kind of like when I was the 5th guy down wearing the hand-me-down blue jeans at home. The patches didn't last very long as they got older, and they just can't keep up. So really would encourage some work there. I guess the third is just a question on the bulk pickup. It said it's curbside. Do they do alley, or is it strictly curbside?
No, alley as well. So if your pickup is in the alley, yes.
Well, mine isn't, but my nephew and niece moved out of a house, and the landlord's been really riding them hard, and it's been out back there for 2 weeks, and it's broke. It was a mattress. It's broken down, but they're not getting it. So I thought maybe they didn't go in the alleys.
Is the mattress wrapped in plastic?
No, it was not a mattress. It was a box spring.
Even the
But
box
he
spring
broke it
has
in
to be.
half and folded it, so
Yeah.
it's,
Well, unfortunately, even that has to be in plastic, or they won't pick it up.
the box spring does too? Oh, okay, I'll tell him. Thank you.
Other comments from the public? Hearing none, we'll move to public hearings. We have 2 public hearings. And I will follow the legal protocol for public hearings by starting with public hearings are designed to be a time for the commission to receive the opinions of various parties and to gather information in order to make an informed decision when the matter comes before the commission for action. It is not a time for either commission or public debate. That opportunity will come when the item is on the agenda under general business portion of the meeting. Public hearing to receive comment on the subject of the budget is now open. Does staff have any comments?
We have none, Mayor.
Would the interested parties like to make any comments? Commission, public, anyone on the budget? It is pretty long, isn't it? Kind of grueling, I find. Anything? Anyone? All right, where is my protocol, Mark? The public hearing is now closed.
Sounds good.
That sound about right? Thank you all for your input. Comments on this topic will be, I'm done with that one. Next one is the public hearing on a CDBG water main grant. Last year, end of last year, the staff here wants to replace the water main from Water Tower by Ferris to Water Tower by Subway. And that line breaks at least once a year, it might be more, Heather. Usually right in front of McDonald's, you'll see all the mess, and they're repairing the break each time right there. So they all did hard work, and Fleece and Vandenbrink gotta put a bid together, and how did the bids come out, Mark?
We've bid it twice, Mayor, and both times they've doubled the engineer's estimate.
Doubled.
Yeah.
From?
I think originally it was about a $3 million project, and we've had two bidding rounds, both, I'm rounding numbers here, but I think both were around $6 million total.
And do we have money in the water fund?
We do have some, but $6 million is outside of our reach, and so that's why we are pursuing grant opportunities, and luckily we've found a program in which we may be able to qualify, and they grant up to $2.5 million. So that's what you have with you tonight, and that's the purpose of the public hearing is it's a required action as part of a CDBG grant.
We'll open that then, right?
Yes.
Now, public hearings are designed to be a time for commission to receive opinions of various parties and to gather information in order to make an informed decision. It is not a time for either commission or public debate. That opportunity will come at a later time. The public hearing is now open. Does staff have any comments about this grant?
No, it's just a vital component of our water system in a very busy area. When breaks happen, everybody knows about it. The road's shut down. The businesses along there are closed. Sometimes it impacts Ferris. It's a cast iron main that needs to be replaced, and this grant would go a long ways towards being able to make that a reality.
So if we were to receive the grant, we probably have enough savings to do it?
We budgeted $2.5 million, not in the budget you have in front of you or in your packet tonight, in previous year that we've carried forward. So I see the engineer's estimate is 5.6, I think. And so with 2.5 million and adding some, I believe we can do it, but to do the full project on our own is outside of our abilities, unless we were to borrow.
And Mark, the plan is to bore that all the way from one tower to the other tower.
Correct. Yeah.
And there aren't a lot of boring companies, and they charge whatever kind of they feel they can.
I think that's a good summary, yes.
And no local people would have a boring.
Well, Gerber bid, the one time
Did they
at
bid
least.
both times?
They did not bid both times. There was a company out of Mount Pleasant, their name escapes me, that specializes in boring. And then Gerber was working with another boring company as sort of a partnership. That was, I think, the first time, but yeah, you're right, Mayor. And with the emphasis on water projects throughout the state and boring becoming a more popular way to do it in the very busy areas of, our metro parts of the area, it's just these boring companies are in high demand, and that's what we've experienced in their bids.
So were you gone when Kit came for did you hear us? Oh, you left.
Yeah.
Gerber's main person we pressed him a little on whether he was gonna bid on this again. I don't think he's overly keen on it because the boring company makes.
Yeah,
the
90%
fortune.
of the money,
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
So we'll just have to see. Other comments regarding this pipeline? This time, Bill, plastic. Not cast iron. Is that right, Heather? I think you said that.
Yes.
Anyone else? Any more, no public comment, then we will say that the public portion of this hearing is closed. Thank you for all your input. The commission comments on this topic will be reserved and will take place in general business portion at a later time. Thanks, everybody. I find those things kind of weird, but that's okay. Now we'll go to general business, resolution approving mayoral appointments to city boards and commissions. That's on 10A, is it, Mark?
Yeah, 10A.
Karen, do I have to read all those? Do you want those all read to you? You have them in front of you? I'm trying to find 10A.
I can read them, Mayor, if
There's a
that's
ton of
helpful.
them.
Yeah, I mean, I can
Go ahead,
make
Mark,
it,
read away.
Appointments to the Airport Advisory Board are Pete Alley, Isabel Bruder, Dan Farrow, Jim Peak, John Ward, and Jeff Robolewski. Appointment to Big Rapids Community Library Board, Sandra Braden Worth. The DART Local Advisory Board, Desiree LaPinta. Parks and Rec Board, Alexis Jalapa. And the Planning Commission, Sarah Montgomery. And some of these are reappointments.
The airport was the one with all those folks on it, and they had a lot of loss in the last few years from their board, and we wanted to fill it back up, because the airport, hopefully with this runway expansion, is gonna get busier and they'll be more active.
is there a way to try to stagger them again?
Not my job.
I mean,
telling
I
you.
think we're
I know
pretty
that's not my
fortunate to get a
Yeah,
fuller board,
we
so I
are.
won't.
It was lucky.
I know, we prefer to have them.
Any comments from the public on those individuals? Objections to any of those individuals, commissioners?
I just need to disclose that I have a professional relationship with some of those individuals. I don't think it
You do all
stops.
their taxes, huh?
Can't say.
Can't say.
Oh, you can't say, oh, I'm sorry. Their
That
motion.
doesn't pose a,
So-
you can still vote on it.
Thank you.
You can still vote.
Yes.
I take no issues, thank
Do I
you.
hear a motion for the resolution approving the mayoral appointments?
So moved.
Support.
Further questions? I do not think it's appropriate for mayors to pick and choose, committee members. I think that's way too political, and when Karen brings them and Mark reviews them with me, I say yes, because I don't think it's right. Say, oh, I don't like that, you know? So that's why I didn't know the folks.
So, I think what you're getting at is it's in our charter that this is how this works.
You bet. Karen?
James,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Simmon,
Yes.
Gunther.
Yes. Thank you. The airport runway may, can I say it? May be paved this week already. Woo-hoo, that's a big deal. Next, on the business side, resolution recommending the city's representative on the Macasta Osceola Transit Authority Board, and we all know and love Wendy Nystrom, and do you still wanna be on there, Wendy?
We'll serve again, no problem.
Do we have a motion for that resolution?
So, second.
And comments, questions? You've been there quite a long time.
Well, I finished somebody's term, and
Oh, I
I've
see.
had one term so that's, what, 3 years, almost?
Yeah,
Maybe 4, 3.5, I think,
Very
because
good, thank you for serving.
I completed someone else's term.
Thank you. Please.
Johnson,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Simmon,
Yes.
Gunther,
Yes,
James.
Yes.
thank you. Next is, the city thinks it'd be good to donate a retired police vehicle that's sitting over in the city's garage over there to the MOS ID, as they would like to have a vehicle they can practice different things on. Is that right, Mark?
yes, Mayor, and in conversations with Scott Moore, who's, Scott is the assistant street superintendent, but really runs the motor pool program, is a chief mechanic. He is a mechanic himself, so he very much understands our vehicles. In talking to him about this, it's a 2019 and it has 111,000 miles on it. And so that doesn't sound like it maybe doesn't have any value, but my understanding through talking with Scott is this has been a particularly challenging vehicle with a lot of repairs, and that he really doesn't think it has much resale. It does have a good use at the ISD because some of the police focused equipment that are in the vehicle they're phased out, we can't use them in anything else, but that allows the students then to train and learn as they go through their programming at the ISD. So it does appear to be a good partnership. It doesn't appear that this vehicle is of any real resale value for us, so I thought donating it would be appropriate.
Does the,
I raised a fuss this morning, Bill, cause I thought 100,000 on 2019, that's a good vehicle. That would've been something I would've bought back in the day. But I guess policemen are really hard on their vehicles. And Scott told us that he doubt that he could get $1,000 for that car. I thought that was interesting for the people to know. Karen, please.
does MOISD have an automotive repair program?
It's for the public safety program.
No, do they have
I
the
get that.
repair?
Yeah.
Do they-
They,
I was just curious.
they do have,
I don't think they do.
I don't think they do.
they have, what is it called now? They do have something, it's like heavy diesel mechanic,
okay.
yeah.
No, I think this is great.
Yep.
Well, if it were worth $10,000, I was for selling it. They said it's worth nothing.
I like practical.
Anybody comments? Bill, anything?
Are they using that in their, training program for the law enforcement
Yes.
area?
Yes.
Joy Peckett, the old officer.
Simulation type labs, it's not commissioned equipment, it's,
It won't be
They're doing
out on the road,
simulations.
it'll just be in the park.
I don't know that.
That was the one question I had.
it might be on the
But I
road,
didn't-
but we're. I would trust our city attorney has us covered.
Governmental immunity. I can speak a little bit to this. My son is actually in the public safety program at the ISD right now. And they are, I believe they're just gonna be using it they do have a fire truck that's an old fire engine over there.
Ambulance.
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 Yeah, they got something over there, and he said that they were looking. He said it'd be great. He said it'd be great to be able to use this and to practice, and just because it's not besides public safety, they'll also be using it for their other. There's another program they're gonna use it too, but yeah, it'd be great for the kids to be able to actually have hands-on experience, and so.
Very good. Public, any comment? Hearing none, we have a motion for the resolution to award the retired police car to the ISD.
So moved.
Further comment? Karen?
Rhodes,
Yes.
Simmons,
Yes.
Gunther,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Next is the resolution regarding that CDBG grant to put the water line in. Now that we've had our hearing, we can vote to apply for that. Megan's not here, but she's already been working right along on it. She's highly optimistic on this one. There's 20 million available, and we'd like the max, which is what, 2.1. I don't know how we'll do there, but anything would help, maybe get that thing replaced. So that's what that resolution's about, the water-related infrastructure. Questions? Public? Please.
You want me to go?
If-
I'm not against it. I just wanted to add, if appropriations do happen at the federal level and the state level, to contact our elected folks, especially Peters likes to put forth appropriations for these kinds of things, Senator Peters, and get him before he's out. And I believe the state appropriations or earmark are ending May 30th. I'm not sure. So you might want to contact our state senator and state rep, because it's about time they did something for us in our area anyway. I'll add that. But I do know the federal, Alyssa Slocum too, you can apply with her as well. It might not, it's over I think already for this year, but
Anything we can get.
that was all I was gonna add. Otherwise, yeah, go for the grant.
Thank you. Is there a resolution to apply for that grant, please?
So moved.
Second.
Further questions? Hearing none, roll call please, or,
Singer,
Yes.
Gunther,
yes.
James.
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes.
Next is a resolution approving the purchase of land related to the movie theater. I will add that I've had a lot of phone calls on this particular resolution just since it came out. Thursday night is when you put it out, for many different reasons. Mark, do you wanna explain the whole thing a little bit, or do you want me to just stick to this resolution? I think a little overview would be
A
helpful.
little overview is fine, happy to do it. There's a developer, Jordan Stansel, who may join us tonight. I know he was planning on coming, but it was some conflicts, who has been pursuing this idea of revitalizing and reopening our downtown theater into a first-run movie theater, similar to what he runs in other communities. And it's a tough project to get off the ground. He desperately wants to do it in Big Rapids. He believes in having a theater here. He thinks all the metrics, if you will work out in his favor, but, you know, sort of pulling together the needed funds to do it has been a challenge. One of the ideas that is represented here tonight is the thought that he would buy the property as a whole from AMC, the whole meaning it's the building itself and what we all know as the theater parking lot next door. Well, that theater parking lot is not important to him in terms of operations, and us being the city, if we were to buy it from him, would be a cash infusion into the project, but also result in us owning and being able to improve a lot that has desperately needed it for decades. So that's the idea here, Mayor. It's kind of trying to do a couple things. One, you know, really get this theater project going and off the ground, and then also just improving that to a public parking area or a placemaking space or those types of things. If we own the lot, but if we don't, we wouldn't be able to do those. So,
Questions from the commission first?
If I understand correctly, Mark, you guys, as the city has tried to purchase this lot standalone in the past, and AMC didn't wanna break it.
very,
Didn't
very
wanna
true.
break it
Yeah,
up, so this isn't just coming out of left field or anything like that. We've tried to do this for quite some time.
There's been ideas about buying this parking lot for a long, long time. And,
Mainly because it's almost dangerous in there.
It's rough.
It's rough.
I'd rather see a placemaking or a
And that
park
too.
Yeah.
than just another parking lot downtown.
Public, any comment, thoughts? Hearing none, is there a motion for the resolution?
So moved. Second.
The only comment I will make is that it's very specific in there. If the deal doesn't go through, we don't buy the lot. Because we believe it should be in a package to get a theater for the people of our area. And that's always my answer to the naysayers. You shouldn't use public money to help private enterprise. And my answer is, the people want a movie theater, and it has been requested of me, and I think all the commissioners, that they want a movie theater in town. Do everything you can to get a movie theater. So this is, to me, the most reason why I would vote yes, because you hear it from everyone. College students, holy moly, every meeting we have, we'll hear it Friday when we have our meeting with them. We want a movie theater, so that's just my take on this. I think it's right, but I don't know. Just one vote.
Mayor?
Yes?
I also think it's important to recognize that this is a great opportunity to redevelop that section of the downtown to make it more appealing to families walking downtown and enjoying the downtown community. I feel like a lot of we have Pocket Park on this side of the downtown street. This could potentially be another situation like that, where families, can go from their housing units, their houses, their apartments, wherever, college students, and actually have community in that section of downtown as well, so.
Also, the Downtown Business Association is begging for the movie theater to come back. It brings people down, either to the stores or the bar, whatever you might say, they want that to be done. Another group of people who are dedicated. Others? Others? Yes, please.
Will it remain a parking lot? That's what they need there for the theater.
Well, in the area, the shopping area.
I don't know. Depends on phase 2 of the project, which is just out in the wind.
I mean, I would much rather see it as a park or a placemaking. I think, to your point, Commissioner Johnson, having a spot for families to stop, whether they're coming from the library and heading to library to Pocket Park, you know, having some sort of food truck type lot. I would much rather see it as that than empty parking spaces. That's just my vision for that area. It took a while for me to imagine it as something besides a parking lot, because that's what it's been for as long as I've known it. But once I started to think about it in terms of a space that we could have people reside in, kind of changed.
I think it was back in February or March, I had the opportunity to listen in to a Zoom meeting about how to invigorate and revitalize downtown spaces. And one of those ways is by making it more walkable. One way to make a community more walkable is to give somebody more places to stop and rest along the way, but also creating community spaces where you don't have to pay to exist. So whether we do repave it, resurface it, and have it as a parking lot, that would have value. But even if we do something different, it'll be utilized. You know, you look at any of the community spaces we've redeveloped in the last few years, people go, we build it and they go there. So I think it's a win-win no matter what if we do go forward with this.
Did we have the motion?
Yes, we had the motion. I believe we were waiting for the vote.
James,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Simmons,
Yes.
Gunther.
Yes. Unscheduled business, I'm gonna make a comment about the swimming pool. The, RAP grant was refused us. That came in last week, was it, Mark?
I think so.
And they said, no, we're not into helping you with that plan, so I personally have asked Mark, and the other commissioners haven't heard me on this one yet, but I think they need to start a committee for a master plan of the pool area. The clay cliffs, the handicap walk, the pool, the building, they need to get a whole master plan on what to do with that whole area, and I think the grant would be more easily accepted, and I think as, you all did with the Hemlock Park and all this, you get the community committee going first. And whether we do that, Mark, or I haven't heard the commissioners out on this, so it's brand new. But I think probably we gotta get a leader to do a community action to see what people really want. And they sure did turn out for Hemlock, and it sure turned out to be fabulous. So I'd start there, I would say.
We will do it.
Others?
Yeah, it seems like something the Parks and Rec committee could work on
I
in
think
terms of a process and
the
have
process
them
could
work
be theirs.
through it. Well, they can work
There's
through
a
it.
subcommittee, there's a
Yeah.
whole committee.
There is, but
Is
like as a group to kind of work
We
through
need
that.
to all get
But we
behind
also need a champion in the community.
The 5 of us need to be totally behind it for the park commission, and whether you do a separate community action group first and then turn it to the park commission, however they wanna do it, right? Has to be a more consolidated. It's my favorite, right, Mark? Mark's dissing me over there.
No, I'm not at all. Agree with you.
Unscheduled business, other unscheduled business.
I just want to make a comment. It's not business, just a comment. Yesterday was Mother's Day, so happy belated Mother's Day to everybody out in the audience or who's watching this who is a mother, and I hope you had an amazing day.
Thank you. I forgot to mention I had a job to do. This award was given to the City of Big Rapids from the American Society of Civil Engineers, Michigan section. And we had the honor of being there and seeing all the engineers and receiving the 2025 Quality of Life Award for the Hemlock Park project with owner City of Big Rapids engineer Fleece and Vandenbrink. and it was the only one of these quality of life awards given, so it was kind of cool. We enjoyed that. All those who did the work, I didn't do any of the work. And also, everybody should plan to come to the May 24th splash pad opening. It's gonna be very moving. The children of the young fellow who it's being named after are gonna get in the splash pad first, and it should be a really cool event. There's both the Lions and the Trinity Fellowship Church are gonna do a lunch for people, and it's just gonna be a good thing, so everybody, we have that. Now, if you could all turn and stare at Jordan Stansel in the back. We're done, Jordan. Your vote went through, you're good.
Okay, good.
Jordan is the Jordan Stansel who plans to do the theater project, and we're happy to have you.
Yeah, thanks. I was at Irwin Seating in Grand Rapids, so that's why I'm late.
Oh, you were looking at,
Yeah, we're looking at our chairs, so.
somebody asked me, Jordan, if you were going to try to get a liquor license for the theater.
We should. I mean, we have, I think we have that option here with the DDA program, right? So we have that in Alpena, we did that.
We did.
Yeah, so we
Do
have.
people buy drinks and go to
They
the show?
do, yeah, it's not huge. I mean, there's so many kids that are the customers and everything, so, you know, when you're under 12, it's a little, you don't really need the car of it. But, yeah, we have, special cocktails for, certain movies, if it's related to the movies. So we can serve liquor under that license, but the everyday menu is beer and wine. So, yeah, but anyway, but I have, actually, I'll show you, I don't know if anybody wants to look at this. I mean, if you wanna see some chairs, I got, look at this one I got, you can pass that down or something. Let's see what we have, they have a new chair that's only just now in production, so I think that would be good, and, it's exciting, but thank you.
The community is starting to hear rumors
Yeah.
about the theater,
Okay.
because you've had some different people over there, and every time somebody goes, we all find out, there's a plumber there today. There, and then there's a heating cooling guy on the roof. So the community knows something's going on. We have not officially done anything, but today, it's in the minutes that we approved purchasing the parking lot if you purchase
Yeah.
the whole package. And that's gonna be public and official, and it'll be known by tonight. It'll start on Facebook.
Well,
So, just so you know.
we're supposed to close on this building either this week or next week, so that's happening. So.
Very good. Everybody in town is excited, I think. I haven't heard anybody say, ugh, we don't want that there.
Well, it depends what movie's on.
Yeah. That comes later,
You
right?
gotta decide, decide that later.
So we're excited. Anybody have a comment for Jordan or anything today, folks? Public? Address a question to Jordan at all? This is movie theater seating.
Yeah,
Better than my living room.
that's the point, yeah, you gotta get you out of the living room.
Oh, I got it.
Gotta compete with those.
I just have a quick one.
Please.
It was brought up when you were discussing.
Could you say your name?
Sorry, Therese Allen. I live downtown here in the historical apartments. I recall the last time you were here, you were discussing that about the parking lot. I know that came up in terms of whether you needed that for spaces or not, and it sounded like that was not an issue for you.
I don't think so. We had, I can't remember if it was here or another meeting when Michelle was pointing out, I think there's 300 parking spaces, within how many feet, 1,000 feet or 900, some small distance, not including that private lot, so. I think a big part of this is, you know, the state of Michigan really likes the idea very, very much of, the whole project being the parking lot and the theater building. And that what is now the parking lot becoming a public space that is more of a garden park kind of environment, you know, and I think that's the purpose of this. And so I think that's more important for the whole concept than just that individual kind of private parking lot. Yeah, so that's what the theory was.
We have not explored the whole MEDC and all that stuff yet, because that's your baby, and all we did today was approve the purchase if you purchase, feel this and TIF that and this.
Yeah.
None of that.
Yeah, I'm not an expert on any of that, so these guys
You
are.
do movies.
Yeah, I just eat the popcorn.
Thank you. Anything else for Mr. Stansel? Anything else for the commission? Hearing none, we're adjourned.
We've had 2 weeks in a row.
All right.
Next week.